Here with Stockton Thunder head coach Rich Crom, taking a look at our playoff preview for the Western Conference semifinals. Coach, first off, congratulations on moving on to the second round. Now you have a date with the Bakersfield Condors, a team that you had some success against, went about 500 in the regular season, but did not have very much success at the end of the year, especially in their building. But this was a team that you didn't see too often and not very many times in a row towards the end of the year.
No, the final half of the season we didn't get to play them very often, and a lot of the games that we made up with San Francisco were made up with Ontario and not so much with Bakersfield. But we did get a chance to see them right near the end of the year, and their team hasn't changed a whole lot. They've added a couple of new faces since the playoffs have started, so a couple of kids out of junior that we haven't really seen yet. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of lineup they bring in here or into their building on Friday.
Now, this is a Condors team that had some deceptiveness against you towards the end. They had so many roster changes at the beginning of the season. It finally seemed like they found a lineup that they liked, and now they've got some pretty good weapons. Laurent Brossoit has to be at the head of that class, an all-rookie ECHL goaltender selection who you guys still have yet to beat this year.
Yeah, I think he's made a difference for them. I think they found some stability as soon as they got him into the lineup for them. I think it gave them a good foundation, so they've been consistent with their lineup for the most part since then. Their defense has stayed fairly stable, and they've added a couple pieces up front. But other than that, I think that what we see on Friday is going to be very similar to what we saw at the end of the year.
Now, for you, 4 wins to start the postseason. You can't do any better than that against the Ontario Reign in the first round, and you had a lot of success from your first line. Andrew Clark, Joey Martin, Jeremy Langlois, 22 points in the first 3 games of that series. They really had the chemistry going.
Yeah, they did. I think they benefited from playing together up in Bridgeport. I think that helped them initially getting started here in the playoffs, and then they started to heat up as the playoffs went on. I thought first couple games they were productive, but not the same as down the stretch there. In the last couple of games, they were really good.
Now, when you take a look at the defensive side of things, it all starts with Brian Foster, who was phenomenal, a .940 save percentage against Ontario in that series. He had 41 saves in one of those games. It kind of starts with him just having a very solid back part of the unit.
Yeah, he really got focused here for the playoffs and had some great games for us. I think it's important. You have to have goaltending to win, and he's been very good. So a good base for us, and our defense has been bolstered here going into the playoffs with the addition of Langdon and Canton coming in late, and Padan obviously didn't play the last couple games, but was very effective here in the first 2.
Now, you mentioned Padan. He was one of a couple of guys that were sort of banged up for you at the end of that series. Langlois ended up not playing in that last game of the first round. So what is the injury situation right now for your guys?
Well, we're day-to-day with Langlois, and we'll see how he feels here tomorrow. We've got a couple other situations that we're dealing with. Padan will not be playing. He's out for probably a good 4 to 6 weeks, I think.
All right. Now, when you shift your focus a little bit towards how much success you had in that first round, you got the first round sweep, but now you've had that time off. Some guys like it. In this case, it gives you a chance to rest some of those banged-up bodies, but you also have the danger of maybe losing your edge, as it were, with so much time in between games. So what have you been doing to combat that?
Well, we've had a couple of good practices here. I think that the more you can rest and get healed, the better off you are this time of year, and that is something that we were able to take advantage of here the last little bit. I think the rest is more important than anything else, and your legs will feel better going into that first couple games. I think with regard to being rusty, I think we scrimmage a little bit, do some game-like situations in practice, and that takes care of that.
All righty, that's the word from head coach Rich Crom. Coach, best of luck going forward here in the playoffs.
Thanks, Caleb.